Welcome to your hopefully thorough yet short introduction to the navigation for the school district's learning management system known as Canvas. As you can see over here, I am logged in as a test student. Once teachers get our content up there and our classes/students loaded from the district, we can log in as students to mostly see what the students see. I'm just going to dive right in, follow along, pause, go back and look at it, and we will go from there. On the left, you'll see a simple navigation menu. I get rid of most of the options because I want to try to simplify the student's life as much as possible. I'll click through a couple of these. We'll go through those in a moment. Across the top, you have different things. For courses, once you hover over that, this is the only class I can see right now. You should be able to see all of your students' classes there. Grades, which is also right over here. We'll get to that in a moment. The calendar option lets you look into the future and see when different assignments are done. The nice thing about the calendar function is you can see how it's laid out. This particular class for Art 2 is randomly assigned the color green, and then the English class will be a different color, the math class will be a different color. So let me go back here. On the right hand side, this is actually a really interesting feature that whenever a teacher loads something that has a due date, that shows up over here. This is live now, and it needs to be finished by, you can see, August 21st at 2 p.m. This is for my Art 2 students, as you can see in the upper left-hand part of the screen. There is another assignment that's due on Wednesday. When I hover over that, it tells me August 19th by 2 p.m. And this class introduction quiz is the same thing as up here, but this is telling me all of my upcoming assignments. I think it goes for the week. I don't know if it goes further into the future, but my understanding is that this will list all of the assignments for all of the classes that are listed, not just the one here. But again, I'm in a test view, so I think that's the way it works. Over on the left, the home screen, I have what are called modules set up to be what you see when you log in. This title right here, this title right here, this title right here, which can be expanded or contracted depending on what you want to see. I really need to go through these, so I'm going to expand those again. What I would do is think of the modules like the chapters of a book, and to think of this page as you would a table of contents for a textbook. So this is a chapter. Within that chapter, there's different content. This is the content. This is another chapter. Within that chapter, there is different kinds of content. These are just pages of information. If you want to know how I grade students and what their grade is made up in, and can they turn in work late, which, by the way, sometimes yes, sometimes no, all of that information is found here. I no longer give this as a handout to students because, let's be frank, teenagers don't read it 9 times out of 10 anyway. This is a quiz. The students all have a quiz that they have to take by 2 p.m. the first Friday of the first week of school. So once they click on that, it will ask them, once they've read the directions, if they're ready to take the quiz, and they will go from there. So that's kind of how this works. The thing at the very top of the page for me is really important. So if I click on the daily agenda, every single day that there is class, I will list the day and I will list bullet points for what we have done that day. This will end up being a reverse chronological list. So whenever you click on daily agenda, the most recent day is on top. I learned the hard way last year that this really works for me, and one of the things that's nice is that whenever a student is absent, before they come back to class, they can check this. If it was a work day, all they have to do is worry about making up the time that they missed. So they need to spend tutorial or before or after school time making up those 90 minutes, which frankly is a little difficult, but I know it can be done. I've seen it done many times. If there was something that we went over that they were supposed to turn in, they'll be able to do that based off of information and links here. Artists of the month, when we do those around the middle of each month, the handout, the presentation, the pictures, the video, everything will be located in Canvas. Right now, I only have one thing to cross-link, but by the time we go through more and more content, there will be a lot more links that you can hover over, and this as well will take you straight to the quiz so the students know what they need to do, and it's really easy for them to find that information. It's really important for me that Canvas be used as a tool to not only provide content, but also to increase the level of communication that the students have with the teacher and the level of engagement that the students have with the class. As we work through the year, more topics will come up. We have a still life. We always start with a still life project. I have a nice little video of how learning to draw has taught me how to live. That was a TED Talk I would love for the students to see. If you or the students want to see examples, I have projects throughout the year loaded up into a Google Drive folder so that they can click through these and see these. And what's really nice is if they're in class during tutorial or during class time, what they can do is they can start to flip through these, and they can even zoom in certain areas, for example, and see how the texture on the inside of this skull was done, or to see how exactly they got this bottle to look three-dimensional and translucent at the same time. I will almost always show examples so that the students kind of have a guide to help take them through the course, in addition to the few examples that I have space to put up in class. The rest of these, random notes on creativity, external videos, these are all really good things to see. If you have some time, take some time and watch those. Those are things mostly that I will reference with the students, and I will expect that the students check Canvas nearly daily, but if they're absent from class, they definitely need to check every day, not just the daily agenda, but any other new content and information that I've put up there, and make sure that they're on top of all of the assignments that are coming up. Announcements. I am a big fan of sending out announcements. I have a separate video on here to show the students how to load their cell phone number within Canvas so that they can get a text message from me whenever I make what is called an announcement. I have several of these set up to go out later in the week because I can set them for a future date, and this is a basic rundown of what that looks like. I have some videos embedded in here. This is just a review from Art 1, and then this is, as you can see, adding your phone number to Canvas, and that takes them through a step-by-step of how to do that right there. They, by default, get that information via email, but let's be honest, adolescents don't always check their email right away. Text messages, Snapchats, that's a different story. Moving on, grades. Whenever grades are input, or if it's a quiz like they have to take this week, whenever they do that, it's an automatic entry into the gradebook. Those show up here. And this will become a long list of assignments throughout the course of the semester. You can see over here on the right how my scores are weighted and what 3 big categories I have that make up the points. Again, once I put in points for these sketchbook gestures on Wednesday in class, this will have points, and that will clearly change the grade from a 0 overall, and it will change the grade within the study drawing projects and engagement points over here. Every 3 weeks I put in engagement points. Projects could be once a week, could be once every 4 weeks. That takes time because we're making projects. Study drawings, those grades go in there roughly once every 3 weeks. So that's a very, very limited and basic setup of how to navigate and where to find different information in Canvas. If you have questions, please please send me a message through Canvas and let me know what I can help you with. Thanks for your time.